In 1869, Coloma, California, Trinity Lawson becomes the town's most hunted woman after witnessing her sister's murder at the hands of powerful mine owner Thomas Burke. With every lawman bought and every alley watched, her only chance at survival comes from Yates Armstrong, a rugged cowboy with a fierce sense of justice. Forced to flee into the wilderness, Trinity and Yates embark on a dangerous quest to recover evidence that could expose Burke's crimes. As bullets fly and enemies close in, their fight for truth soon becomes a fight for each other, igniting a love neither expected amid chaos and fear. In the gold-streaked hills of Coloma, California, the year 1869 brought both fortune and ruin. For Trinity Lawson, it became the year her entire world shattered. One moment, she and her older sister, Margaret, were laughing together outside the boarding house where they worked. The next, Trinity watched in horror as Thomas Burke, Coloma's wealthiest and most ruthless mine owner, shot Margaret in cold blood. Burke had suspected Margaret of stealing financial papers from his office, documents that proved his embezzlement and the dangerous working conditions he covered up. She hadn't stolen them, but Trinity had seen enough to know he feared exposure. And now Margaret was dead because of it. Trinity barely escaped with her life, running blindly into the trees as Burke's men pursued her. By morning, every corner of Coloma hummed with only one message: find Trinity Lawson. Bring her back alive, or dead. She had become the most wanted woman in the county, not for a crime she committed, but for the truth she carried in her memories. Frightened and exhausted, Trinity hid among the tall pines until she stumbled onto a narrow horse trail. Fate intervened in the form of a rugged cowboy with tousled dark hair and steady, watchful eyes, Yates Armstrong. He was on his way to deliver supplies to a nearby ranch when he spotted her, dirty, trembling, and desperate. Though she tried to push past him, Yates gently blocked her path, recognizing danger in her eyes long before he heard her speak. When she finally told him Burke's men were hunting her, Yates didn't hesitate. "You stick with me," he said. "I don't take kindly to bullies, or murderers." He hid her in his cabin deep in the woods, a quiet haven warmed by the crackling fire and the scent of pine sap. Over the following days, Trinity told him everything: how Margaret had grown suspicious of Burke's illegal shipments, how she planned to turn him in, and how Burke discovered her digging too close to the truth. Yates listened, his jaw clenched with fury, his heart aching for the fragile, brave woman before him. He knew the risks of helping her. Burke controlled half the town, including the sheriff. But he also knew he couldn't send her away, not when she deserved protection, not when her courage stirred something inside him he hadn't felt in years. Together, they devised a plan. Before her death, Margaret had hidden a small iron box filled with documents that proved Burke's crimes, ledgers, letters, and a map showing the dangerous tunnels Burke forced his miners to use, despite knowing they were unstable. If Trinity and Yates could retrieve the box and deliver it to the federal marshal in Sacramento, Burke's reign would crumble. The journey was perilous. Burke's men searched every road, every saloon, every abandoned mining camp. Trinity and Yates traveled by night, crossing creeks and climbing ridges where no horses could follow. Along the way, their bond deepened. Trinity found strength in Yates's unwavering loyalty, and Yates was moved by her fierce determination to honor Margaret's memory. He admired her not only for her courage but for the tenderness she tried so hard to hide behind her fear. When they finally reached the old mine entrance where Margaret had hidden the box, Burke's men ambushed them. A desperate fight broke out, gunfire echoing against the canyon walls. Yates shielded Trinity, taking a grazing bullet to the shoulder, yet refusing to fall. Trinity, trembling but resolute, retrieved the box and fired a warning shot that scattered their attackers. With the evidence secured, they fled to Sacramento and placed it in the marshal's hands. Within weeks, Thomas Burke was arrested, tried, and stripped of his empire. Trinity, finally free, returned with Yates to his cabin, no longer as a fugitive, but as a woman who had found strength, justice, and love. And in that quiet place among the pines, she discovered a future her heart had never dared to imagine.